WWE's hold on pro wrestling has been gradually disappearing in North America, empowering talent to speak out on their experiences without fear of retribution or being blackballed from the company. This is Wrestling Hub, my name is John, and these are the 10 most shocking confessions wrestlers made after leaving WWE. Anderson and Gallows revealed Triple H coerced them into not signing with AEW, saying he doesn't think AEW will be around a long time, but WWE will always be there to take care of them. The same story was given to Mike and Maria Kanellis when they signed 5-year deals amidst speculation they were heading back to Ring of Honor. All of them were released despite WWE still netting a $300 million profit. Alex Riley's WWE career was sad. He was a good talker, smooth in ring, good looking, and did seem to connect with fans. He was being groomed under Miz, with everyone predicting their eventual rivalry would be a breakout moment for him. Miz was WWE champion at the time, so Riley was receiving a lot of primetime airplay. Riley recently revealed the details of his falling out with John Cena in 2010-11, which led to his career ending. He told Chris Van Vliet it came down to them just not getting along. Riley made mistakes backstage for which he apologized to Cena, but Cena was offended and never got over it. He said even the locker room would be curious as to why Cena had such disdain for Riley. Simon Gotch's relationship with the entire locker room, especially Roman Reigns, had fallen apart. Gotch was even knocked out by veteran Sin Cara. He would promptly be released. Gotch would say he wasn't fired, rather he requested to be released. He said the root of his frustrations went back to the vaudevillains being left off NXT TakeOver Dallas in 2016. His revelation of being miserable in WWE before it became a common practice for wrestlers to leave citing the same reason in the next few years is telling. A wrestler that took a chance by turning down a contract which would get him almost $1 million was Cody Rhodes. Cody claimed due to him approaching a decade in the company, he was in line for a nearly $1 million deal. However, the Stardust gimmick had him so upset he turned it down to venture out. He would go on to tell Sam Roberts his first year outside WWE helped him make more money than he did on his final WWE deal, proving the indies can be financially viable. Former heavyweight champion Jack Swagger is now with AEW. However, the man that now goes by his real name of Jake Hager had pointed out WWE's tendencies of sabotaging other promotions.
I'm new to the independent scene, but I've seen a trend arising and I wanted to speak on it. Whenever certain promotions run their bigger shows, especially around the holidays, WWE likes to come into the same market and run a show at the same time. This has happened with AML WrestleCade in November. SmackDown is now running the same day and calling their show Starrcade. This has happened on October 28th, the Wrestling Revolver, Tales from the Ring. NXT is now running the night before. Coincidence? I mean, possibly. They do book their shows months and months ahead of time. But what is even more possible is that WWE saw the card for the Revolver and said, oh shit, that's a great roster. This is gonna be a big show. Indies are hot. We should get some of that. We should try to sign all the indie talent to our brand so they can't compete with us. Now, I'm not here to talk shit. I'm sorry, I'm taking this personal though. To me, this is a slap in the face. Typical WWE saying they're a bigger company and they could come into your market and push you around and run a show whenever they like.
This was in reference to WWE booking Starrcade in 2017 to clash with the Wrestling Revolver's Tales from the Ring event. Their attempts to book MSG so Ring of Honor and New Japan could not are also examples of sabotaging indie success. Chris Jericho wrestling in New Japan could arguably be looked at as the moment WWE began losing their foothold on North American wrestling. New Japan Pro Wrestling and Ring of Honor were relevant but not challenging WWE at a mainstream level. Jericho jumping to New Japan to link up with those who would form AEW could be the first visible blow WWE faced. What is more interesting is Jericho broke his word with WWE since leaving. It's well known Jericho took Vince McMahon's blessing before joining NJPW to wrestle Kenny Omega. Y2J told Vince McMahon and Triple H he would not wrestle in America America unless it was for WWE. He would then promptly be featured on All In. WWE responded by banning their talent from appearing on Talk is Jericho. Jericho would become AEW's first marquee signing and has helped catapult the brand into the mainstream. Wade Barrett never held back while talking about what went wrong during his time in WWE. It can be traced back to one night in 2010 that destroyed his credibility. Barrett led the hottest stable, the Nexus, into battle with John Cena's team at SummerSlam in 2010. In a move that shocked everyone, including talent, Cena's team came out on top, with Cena winning for his team in a 2-on-1 scenario. Barrett has revealed his team was supposed to win, yet Cena used his influence to alter this. Edge and Chris Jericho tried talking Cena out of it, even offering apologies to Barrett. The reason for Cena being adamant on beating Nexus is unknown, although people have said Cena regrets that decision. Coincidentally, Cena would not win a match at SummerSlam for the next 7 years, losing at each show from 2011 to 2017 before beating Baron Corbin in 2018. Austin Aries is an unreliable source, which is indicated by his lack of professionalism, which may have been a catalyst for his release. But his comments on WWE writers are interesting because it's a trend we've seen. Aries claims he had some strong ideas, including beating Neville for the Cruiserweight title. Still, writers never went to bat for him. He said writers are scared and work within the established norms in the company. He implied his run was a fail because writers were too scared to push his ideas to the boss. Regardless of the source of this story, the sentiment has been shared by talent aside from Aries. One of the most recent revelations about WWE came from the Revival. The team had a public falling out and were essentially guaranteed to leave WWE for about a year. The second they got their release, they spoke about their experience at length on Talk is Jericho. One of the biggest talking points from their appearance on the podcast was how they viewed WWE's relationship with their tag team titles. They specifically pointed out the WrestleMania match where Braun Strowman beat the tag champion Sheamus and Cesaro single-handedly with an 8-year-old as his partner. They talked about the meaningless tag title reigns, including the reigns they got when WWE tried to convince them to stay. The lack of focus on tag team wrestling outside New Day and the Usos has been evident on WWE TV, but the Revival confirmed the backstage perception on tag team wrestling when they could speak freely. This interview is the gold standard of WWE wrestlers blowing the whistle on inside practices after they leave it. In 2014, WWE being the only show in town was a strong mentality, so people did not want to ruffle feathers even when they were released to see if they have a path to return. Punk did not care, as he walked out and dropped a pipe bomb on Colt Cabana's Art of Wrestling podcast. Punk attacked the way the company did business, with a focus on their medical care. Anyone familiar with WWE's history knows criticizing medical care is taboo. Punk called the company and Dr. Chris Amon negligent in dealing with his illness. Amon sued Punk for his comments and handedly lost in court, signifying a bigger victory for wrestlers WWE crosses. And these were 10 of the most shocking confessions wrestlers made after leaving WWE. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.